And there's another challenge for India, this one in the Indian Ocean. President of Maldives, Mohammed Muizzu, in an interview to Times Network, has reiterated his stand, demanding India should withdraw its troops from Maldives, saying it's anti-democracy. And India and Maldives ties, in fact, are extremely close and date back long. Let's try and understand what really the president has said. These are the excerpts of the president's interview right before you. He said that Maldives will focus on ensuring global respect for Maldives across the world, and that Maldives will not be against any country, will not be anti any country when asked particularly about China vis-a-vis India as well. And he said that my government will pursue pro-Maldives policy. He goes on to say that he believes that India will respect Maldives' democratic will, and the presence of foreign military personnel in Maldives is against the constitution. Well, I'm being joined right now by Dhyaneshwar Mule, who is the former High Commissioner of India to Maldives. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Strong words that if India doesn't withdraw its troops, it will be detrimental to Maldives' democracy, and it will be against the principles of democracy. Strong words, really, by the president of Maldives. How do you look at this?
Well, I think these are two entirely different things. The democracy in Maldives and Indian cooperation with Maldives. One cannot really confuse. And if you really talk of democracy, you need to remember what happened in 1988 when the former President Gayoom was not only rescued, the country was saved from a complete devastation in terms of what was likely to happen then. And this has repeated throughout. So Maldives' relations with India, frankly, cannot be equated with any other country, and that's not because India has been just only because India has been exceptionally forthcoming in terms of giving things to Maldives, but it's also in terms of our proximity, our interdependence.
Right. And Maldives is of huge strategic importance, and India and Maldives have a vast cooperation across sectors, ranging from economic to medical to even defense partnerships. How is the change in dynamics within Maldives being seen by India?
Well, I think elections are elections, and electoral mandates are often subsequently have to be, I won't say compromised, but they are diluted greatly. If I really see the initial interviews and now, it seems that President Muizzu, and I'm a very optimistic person, and I do believe a lot in Indian diplomacy, as well as the maturity that Maldives has achieved over a period of time in terms of its relationship with India. So he has said that he's not opposed to maritime cooperation or military cooperation with India. He's saying that he is concerned with the assets and the personnel. But if somebody who has seen that, we know that whatever has been there is with the agreement of the government of Maldives. There are very strong bonds, and the entire capacity building that you see today in Maldives, whether it is in the economic field, whether it is in terms of tourism, if you really go deep, you will find that there is an Indian support to it. Let's talk of tourism. Is the SBI, which has really helped Maldives in building the credits in 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. It has been one of the biggest financiers there. And so far as defense is concerned, well, Maldives, frankly, does not have its own forces worth mentioning. You need to remember that it is 1,192 islands dispersed over a area of 90,000 square meters or square kilometers or more. How anyone with 450,000 population can ever be able to protect this, this kind of a terrain? I won't say it's sea and a little bit of land. So, India has become a natural partner, if I would say. Whether Maldives wants India to be India first policy or not. It's their internal matter. But they'll realize, President Muizzu himself will realize over a period of time that it is not India is something without which it would be very difficult for Maldives to navigate.
Now, is there also messaging here, considering the steps Maldives has taken, its proximity with China vis-a-vis India?
Well, China is a factor, right from the times of President Nasheed. China has been trying to. In fact, during Nasheed's time, they opened their embassy for the first time, and President Wahid was the weakest link because he was really put there for a while as a political convenience. And during that time, the relationship got actually strengthened. And subsequently, Yamin had a huge dependence on China because he had economic interests. And he also, there were certainly a lot of allegations about his economic transactions. So China suited him well in some ways. But ultimately, I would say that the core of the relationship, so far as strategic relationship is concerned, I don't think it changed much. There was such talk during the time of President Yamin also. But, considering the issues that they have internally also, it's a good idea for Maldives to play an important role internationally and, Indian Ocean and all that. But ultimately, it's not very easy for Maldives, which is, in a very different country. It has a lot of issues, both internal as well as external. For example, let's see, the atta has to come from India. The essential material that is required for building resorts has to come from India, whether it is sand, whether it is aggregates, whether it is, in fact, pyaz, the onion, sabjis. The majority of the people of Maldives come to India for medical. Those who are very rich would go to USA, Canada, or USA, or UK, or Singapore, and Malaysia. But those who are not middle class, lower middle classes, the people from those classes come to India. And we have an open visa system for a limited period. It's working very well since 1970s. So in my view, perhaps we need to allow some time to pass, diplomacy on both sides to work. And personally, I'm not pessimistic because wiser sense will prevail within Maldives.
Well, thank you so much, sir, for joining us. This is perhaps a discourse that is going to continue for a while now. It's time for a short break. On the other side, news and updates will continue.